Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Tezos Bakers. I'm here with Ageaenes Bakery. Hans is here with us. How's it going, Hans?
It's good, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's really cool. If you don't know about this project, I've just been getting out and talking to small bakers on the Tezos network, so we can get a face-to-face with the people that are securing the blockchain. I came across your bakery. I thought your logo looked really cool. I wanted to know more about you. Checked out your website. Can you tell me how you got into Tezos?
It was 2021, I think. I actually mined Ethereum and was a validator there, and came across a site called Unminable where you can choose what to receive, what cryptocurrency to receive as a reward. And I chose Tezos because it was outpass, and I could receive some extra rewards while I was uh, sitting and waiting to pay the electrical bill and
Right,
stuff like
right.
that. Yeah, and that's how I started, and the interest has grown since then. I would say,
That's
and
awesome. That's kind of what interested me too. I really like that feature that I could earn some Tezos because I like to just kind of set it and forget about it and then maybe come back a little bit later and see some of the rewards. Especially now with all the changes to the protocol, with staking versus delegating, and just being to be part of all that and seeing that grow. I think as more people start staking their coins, which is going to lock it up for a period of time, I think it incentivizes the network and hopefully it will I think it will lead to an increase in price if everyone kind of, we're locking down, we're holding our coins, and putting them in storage and just hanging on because we believe in the network as it grows here and matures over. It's been several years, we've got all the bad stuff out of the way, and hopefully in the future, we can see some real case usage. Um,
it's a nice selling point. Yeah, the staking we just implemented. It's nice that you can basically choose how much you want to be in the protocol, and I think you should get rewarded if you decide to lock your test and then help secure the network in that sense.
yeah, is
Also,
it?
as for price action, yeah, it's
Yeah, it's got to be easier for you too when people stake, right? Because you don't really have to pay them out, right? The protocol's now paying them out, right? Is that easier on you?
there are tools to pay out test to your delegators. I don't mind installing them, and but it's not working all the time. Yeah, so it would be much easier if it was automated, and also for staking. Yeah, I don't have any stakers right now. It's
Well,
just a friend,
yeah. So
but
that's what this.
so it's all delegators right now.
Some people, I think, they might not even know about these protocol changes, right? Like
Yeah,
a lot of people they maybe bought during the ICO or whatever, and they put their Tezos in the wallet. And if you're not keeping track of these governance changes as a community, maybe you don't even know that those changes even happen. So that's part of this project too, is getting out, talking about, the protocol changes, the governance, the things that how the chain has changed since its inception, and to
yeah,
get that information out there. Because I didn't even know, and I went, I was like, what? I read about staking versus delegating, and I was like, to me, I was a no-brainer. I was like, I better start staking, right?
yeah,
But I
yeah.
still see a lot of the tokens are still in the delegation status, which I think if the people maybe knew or had a better idea what was going on, they would probably start staking.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
maybe over
And
time,
most protocols use staking, and uh, uh, they only have that to choose from. But we have both, and I like that in a sense. And it's people should know about staking, and that's one thing that we need to learn in Tezos, how to get out to our users and inform them on these things about these things and so on.
right? Because I mean, you have no, and just so people understand, you have no way of reaching out to somebody you just have an address, right? You don't know who they
Yeah,
are.
exactly.
You
Yeah,
can't
it's like
contact them, right? Or
there's
am I wrong?
some tools that you can try to reach out to your delegators. For example, you have this. I think it's called mail chain, maybe. Yeah, you can link your Tesla's address to an email, basically.
Okay, I didn't know that. That's
So
cool.
so I tried that, but I've never gotten a reply. So I don't think they're using them. And
Right.
yeah, so if you're watching, delegators here, my delegators, hello. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's important. I think it's more on them versus you. I mean, because you know who you are you're baking with, right? You know who your baker is. So
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
it's kind of your responsibility to just maybe you have a website, you're keeping up that, you have the information to them. They can either, you have ways for them to reach out to you. So
yeah,
if they don't want to take part or they're happy delegating, I mean, it is what it is, right?
yeah,
Have
exactly.
you been tracking the new kind of proposals, the Kina and all that stuff?
Yeah, I've read all three proposals. So it's yeah, Quebec A and B, and
Mm.
also Kina. I decided with Kina because I don't think we should change the economic side of it right now. It's still maturing, and it's not been that long since we just went into this adaptive issuance.
Yeah, I think
Uh,
I think that was actually like for most people I talked to, that was kind of the consensus, and it looks like it's now that's the way it is. So that's a good thing. I think we got to be careful with the changes that we make. We got to kind of be, maybe too much change too fast is not good, right? Because we're
yeah,
barely getting that information out to people, and we have to
uh,
also see how things are going to play out, right?
yeah. I don't think the economic side, of course, is important, but what we need basically is adoption and as much as adoption as we can get, and also getting our users to have a nice experience, like user experience for our users to be able to delegate easily, be able to stake easily. Like for example, I don't know why we have this finalize on stake if you want to unstake from your baker.
Right. Maybe
why,
we should just
why
happen
would you just make
automatically,
it
right?
harder for the user? I don't
That's
understand
true.
that.
I didn't even think about that. You're right.
Yeah,
I just did it. I did it once because I wanted to see the whole process through before I did, the staking. I
yeah,
wanted,
yeah,
like, I just do a test, unstake one Tezos just to see the process.
yeah.
And yeah, you're right. I'm not sure why they did that because once you hit unstake, you have to wait. That's fine. But yeah, coming back
Yeah,
and
that's
hitting the extra
fine.
button,
Yeah,
right?
one extra click just for the sake of it. So, like, I don't know why they do that.
Right.
But yeah, that's that's the number one for me. I would say basically to help our users to have a nice experience, and I don't know how to help out with that, but I'm gonna try to figure a way out to do that. Whatever it
Yeah,
might
I
be,
mean it's
and
not on any one person, right? And we have a
no,
and we do have the Tezos Commons and the Tezos Foundation,
yeah,
and they have they should still have a lot of resources,
yeah,
and it's not just on them either, right? It's on everybody that uses the network, all the bakers, the foundation, Tezos Commons, kind of collectively as
yeah,
a community to kind of get the word out there, make things better. And that's what's great about Tezos too, right? If we realize, hey, these things need to be changed, like, the finalize on stake, or as we
mm,
go along, we can change these things. And also,
yeah,
I don't know if you noticed that, but I think some of the bakers I talked to, because they're all in different countries, right? They have like different tax laws. And I
yeah,
think I think some of the tax laws, when the Tezos were paid out by protocol, made it easier on them versus, if they physically have
yeah,
to, because
exactly,
there's
yeah,
different laws all around the world, right? So,
yeah,
and that's what's great is we can kind of come to these consensus as a community, what's best way to move forward.
yeah,
So, how do you, I mean, I know you're a relatively new public baker. Do you try to
yeah.
advertise or you got on social media or how do you recruit new people?
Yeah, I basically I had, as everyone else, I had a portfolio of different cryptos, and Tezos was one of them. And I was like, yeah, what am I doing? I'm just buying crypto for the sake of it. I don't know why. Basically, so I just said to myself, I got to do something. And which chain do I like? Let's go with Tezos. How much do you need to be a delegator? I think I needed like 4,000 more or something. So I changed a bunch of cryptos currencies, changed basically to Tezos in order to acquire one role. And then
Yeah.
read some documentation and got started. Basically, it's I'm a software engineer and
Okay.
been a Linux user my whole life, and it wasn't that hard to get started.
Uh,
It's like
Yeah,
I
so
did.
to be so I'm not a baker, I'll be honest, but I tried and I'm like
Mm.
a total layperson, right? So I have no computer background, code background. and I was like, let me see if I can do this, you know. So
Yeah,
I got my machine wiped from Windows. I put Ubuntu on it. I got that
yeah,
far. I think I put like Bake Buddy on or something. And I
yeah.
somehow at some point I got lost in the code, and I probably could have asked for help or whatever. There's a lot of resources, but for me, I was like, maybe I should just let somebody else do it, right? It's worth the 5 or 10% or whatever they
Yeah.
charge. And maybe I'll pick it back up in the future. But yeah, you
I'll
having this
definitely help
software
you if you want
background.
to pick it up again. It's because everyone helped me. Also, there were some question marks, of course. There always is, and I just went into the Tezos Discord and asked around in the baking channel and tried out on the testnet. And I was like, "Yeah, this is how I do it, and this is how I move forward." And then just started. Uh,
That's pretty cool. That's pretty
yeah,
cool. Well, here's the thing, and you know maybe it starts slow, but you never know what's going to happen next year. Things may turn around, and you know crypto moves in cycles, so you may just start booming all of a sudden.
yeah.
And that's how things can work. So during these
There's
slow periods, you got to build.
also yeah, this, as you said, a plus with this period when price action is not that great. It makes we can acquire more, and I think I've almost doubled my size during this when we was like under seven,
Mhm.
$0.7. And as for other enthusiasts out there, you can just well, buy some Teslas when the price is low. If you like
Right.
the chain and want to be in it, it's now is the time to acquire more. And because, as you said, it moves in cycles, and it's a somewhat scarce asset, so it should go up over time. And if you can get in when it's low, then you should.
Yeah, I don't
Not
mind.
not financial
That's
advice,
what's great
but
about me
yeah,
because I actually don't mind. I like to talk price action on this channel because I think
yeah,
it's important, right? But that's the
yeah,
difference between like they do Tez Talks and stuff, Tezos Commons, but they don't like to get into that stuff. But I do because I
yeah,
think it's super important, right? Because that's what
yeah.
this what
Me
drives
as well.
adoption.
Yeah, me as well. It's price action is important because let's say you get in at under $1, and
Mhm.
Teslas moves to $5. You're more likely to keep your Teslas if it's a good price action rather than
Right.
like sort of just going down all the time and being sad and miserable at the same time. Like I don't want to be in Teslas anymore because it only goes down.
Right, right.
Yeah. So it's the psychology of that is always good for people to get in low and for price action to move up afterwards, and more likely to have a greater community in that sense.
Yeah, I think about it this way, Hans. I think like during the ICO it was like 35 cents or something from the start. And you
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
you've been holding for 5 years, 6 years, and it's 70 cents. You're not going to sell at that point. Like
no, no,
you know, we're at a bottom, right? So
yeah, yeah, yeah,
to me, I'm like, there's no, I don't think we could go lower. I mean, we're back to almost ICO prices. So if you are thinking about being a baker or getting in the Tezos network, now is a great time because
yeah.
we've
It's a
got some of
very,
those
very
things
nice
squared
time there.
away. We've had the growth of, you know, the technology and where the price is kind of back almost to close to where it was during the initial coin offering many years ago.
Hmm. I totally
So,
agree with you on that.
yeah, so we'll see how that goes. You know, it seems like everything that they did as far as marketing didn't really work. I don't know if you agree with that. I think most people would.
It's like, yeah, I've seen the marketing on different sites. Like, for example, yes, Manchester United, I think,
Hmm.
soccer team in UK has Teslas on their chest, and like Formula One has Teslas on their car. But for normal people that don't know what Teslas is, it's not like they're going to go on the web and what is Teslas?
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm go into that
Exactly.
cryptocurrency.
Exactly. And that's not their
Yeah,
fault. Maybe that was a learning curve for just, you know, everyone, right? Like
yeah,
we have to target the people that are interested. And that's why I
exactly.
think we start with our community, right? We
Yeah,
start with the small people. We start with the small bakers on the chain. And then as we get out, we talk to each other. You know, other people are like interested, like how, oh, this is how I got into baking. Oh, I would like to do that too. You know, what's the entry point? What do I need to
yeah,
do? And I think if we do that as a community, and we start with the bakers, the small independent bakers, like your bakery, Hans, I think that's a good start. And to just draw more people in, just to you know, see what we have real world use cases
yeah,
that I think there is there that can be implemented. But it's going to take people and it's going to take effort to do that.
I would also say like we should be able to get in more dapps, and some of this marketing money could spend that way. Basically, they try to get more third-party suppliers of coming into Tezos. Like there's a bunch of great dapps out there on different chains, and we also have a great one or two. I don't know how many we have right now
Right.
that are quite big, but I would say yeah, this object.com, I think.
Hmm.
It's a great community of art, and they're using Tezos as a means of exchange as well. So it's very good for the chain, and it's
Yeah,
much more
you could actually
of
see
those
the point.
applications.
Yeah, you could actually see the
So
point of it. You
yeah,
could use the chain to sell your digital artwork. It has a real use casage.
yeah,
It works, and things like that. Yeah, we need definitely more things like that. Even I talked about before during my last interview with Tez Nebraska, I was talking about gaming. I mean, that's
yeah,
huge. There's tons of gamers
yeah.
out
It's
there.
really huge. I'm also a gamer as well, so finding a nice game on Tezos should be nice.
Oh yeah. Like if you
Yeah,
could get some of these AAA games, I mean, the amount of people that would be in that would be amazing. I play Call of Duty personally.
yeah,
If I purchase a weapon on Call of Duty to be able to transfer to the blockchain and keep it to the next game or even
yeah.
resell it to someone else, I think
And you
that the
use
AAA games
Tezos
will
for
get
means of
there.
exchange. You can do like sell your rifle to someone else for Tezos and
Yeah.
such things. And also, it's like there's some great dapps that I'm using, but not on Tezos. But you know what A Note is? A Note Music.
Mm-mm.
You can basically buy music rights, and
Right.
it will be kept on the blockchain. I think it's on Algorand, the Algorand chain. But that would be awesome to have something like that on Tezos as well.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because now you have all the AI music, and you need something to kind of verify that, hey, I
Yeah,
made this. I made this music. You can trace it back to, the date I made
exactly.
it. Here's why. Here's where my copyright comes in, and all that. And the blockchain can definitely help verify that.
Yeah,
Especially in this age of data where things can just be transferred, and it helps with that ownership aspect
yeah,
for the artist and the holder of that music or rights. So
yeah.
I think we'll get there. It's still,
It's still early, basically. We haven't been around that long, and we need time for people to adopt. And crypto as a whole is just growing
mhm,
every year, basically.
make it easier. And I was
Yeah,
thinking, man, I was like, if you could even start a baker on Windows, I don't know if that's even possible. I'm not a, you
it's
know,
possible. You can. I think you can run a Linux environment in a virtual machine. Basically, I think
okay,
they have some documentation how to do it on Docker. So it's probably easier than doing it doing
yeah,
it.
and maybe there's some security issues I don't know about, but just things like that, right?
Yeah,
It may not be running on Windows, but just making it as easy as we can to grow the community, to onboard people into the Tezos network, to show them what it's all about.
yeah.
Um, is it that?
Also, I'm thinking about doing something from a bakery like that for that to be a unique selling point. I don't know. I haven't had time really yet to look into it, but yeah, maybe do a little small dap, maybe a lottery or something. Uh, if you're a delegator, you have a chance to win. I don't know,
Oh yeah,
but
that's what's cool about being your own baker, right? Is you can kind of
yeah,
implement these own unique. Each baker is so unique with maybe even
yeah,
their fee structure, or you have a lot of freedom to do things as a baker. So I do
yeah.
like that aspect.
Many bakers have their unique sales selling points. Basically, I think there's a bake nug. I think he uh, offers out nuggets every now and then, some small Tezos, and yeah, it's like you can bake for Ukraine. I think someone did as well. Like all the profit went to Ukraine, and
Yeah, it's
yeah,
cool.
there are different ways to do it, and I just need to figure out mine.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, as you said, I haven't been a public baker more than it started. I think it started in April, um, that's when I decided to do it.
Yeah, well, for me, I think this video is a good first start. Put it out there.
Yeah,
And me personally, I think if you are a holder of Tezos, to support the small bakers. If you're looking someone to bake with, there's bigger bakers and there's smaller ones. And to me, I always like to support the smaller independent baker, because I feel like that's where the true community is. That's just my personal opinion. But or maybe
yeah,
you bake with, if you split it up and do multiple, right? You got multiple walls and bake with different people.
yeah,
So that's cool. So, seeing this video and see what you do, Hans, and I get to hear you and how you're set up and how you started, that's a good way to attract people too, because they get to know you. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. It's nice to show myself as well. I'm a bit of an introvert, as most are,
Oh, we all are. Trust me.
computer
We
scientists
all
and
are.
such like. But I decided it's always good to reach out and talk a little.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's why I
get
started
a
doing
feel
this because I know
feel good
I'm
too.
sure you've heard people call like Tezos a zombie chain and nobody's on it, and that's what I said last time. I said that's not true. Like we have hundreds of thousands of people that are using the network. You don't see them, right? And I
Yeah,
think part of this is getting our community out there to where people be like, okay, yeah, there is a lot of people on Tezos, building dapps, baking, and they have a large community, and
yeah,
that's what this is. So that's awesome
yeah.
you came out.
People should go on X or Twitter and also go to the Discord and see what's happening there. Yeah, go
Yeah, because
visit the different apps. I think Object.com has a Discord as well. We'll see what they're doing, and yeah, look around a little and see what happens, and maybe talk to someone and see maybe collaborate on a project and such
Yeah, because
things.
me, I wasn't into. It seems like Discord was a lot of people that were like, software engineers or more computer based. They were using Discord. I never used that as social media particularly.
Yeah,
Maybe I was on Reddit or, but you got to find where the community is at. And I definitely
yeah,
say the
yeah,
community's in Discord for sure.
yeah,
So, and I'm on Reddit a lot too. I try to post the videos on Reddit if they'll let me. If the mods don't take it off, hopefully they won't,
yeah.
because I think we need all this stuff to build a community. And I think it's a good thing.
When
Um,
did you get started with this video?
I just took part in the ICO.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was into stuff before then, and I've just been watching the project from the beginning. We had the lawsuit and we had all this crazy stuff happening.
Hmm.
And I never took part in that. I just, stayed away from all that. We had the foundation issues. A lot of headache at first, but with anything
Yeah, yeah,
that can happen, right? It takes a while to get on your feet. They kicked Evers out of the foundation. They were just doing a bunch of stuff. And so I've just been tracking it from the very beginning and just kind of watch. I want to see I want to actually see it come to fruition and actually, hey, it was successful because it was a huge ICO back in 2017 or whatever.
yeah.
And the amount of funds that it raised as the chain was massive, unheard of
Hmm.
at the time. So I'm like, what do we do with it? Where do we go with it, right?
Where are we going? Yeah.
Where are we going? And
But
so,
this self-amendment that we have on Teslas is great for that because we can mess up and basically we can fix it and with the new proposal and then move forward because nothing good comes of just doing it right all the time. You need to fail a little bit in order
oh,
to
exactly.
move forward and the
Yeah.
self-amendment helps that massively, I would say.
And I'm guilty of this myself. And part of me is like, what's the foundation doing? What's these people doing? But
Yeah,
ultimately, we all have responsibility, and we're the community that builds on it, right?
yeah,
Like, so as a community, what can we do collectively, each and every one of us, to make Tezos successful? Whether it's building on the chain, building dApps, baking, whatever we need to do. Maybe it's getting out here and talking to each other like this, and that's what makes it successful, I think. So.
yeah. All kind of community action is good action, I would say, in this the chain.
Mhm. I would love for someone to search Tezos on YouTube and they click on Tezos and they all of a sudden all these bakers pop up, right? You got like 100 videos of different bakers on the Tezos network.
Yeah,
I think that would be really cool for people to see all that. And I know that Tezos Commons has Tez Talks and they're doing that. But for me, what surprised me is I just seen the domain Tezos Bakers was available. And I
Yeah.
would have thought in my head, I would have thought like the foundation or somebody would have scooped that up because
Yeah.
they had my Tezos Bakers. I don't know if you were part of that, but that's kind of what was there originally. And then they
Hmm.
left, maybe funding issues or something like that. And I was like, well, when people are searching, on the internet, they don't know about TZKT or the Explorers. Maybe they may
Yeah.
just put in their search bar, find me a Tezos Baker, right? That may be
Yeah.
their
Yeah.
search. And for a layperson, and I want to be able to utilize that. And when they type that in, to maybe be able to connect with some of you guys, right? Just naturally. And then click
Yeah,
on your
and
name
you're
and they can
doing
see
your
your
part on
face.
YouTube. It's like, yeah, when they search for Tezos Bakers, yeah, you show up.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly. So, and that's what needs to that's what needs to happen for the community,
yeah,
and that's what needed to happen to grow the chain. And I think if everyone just did a little something, whether anything, I think we'll succeed as a community. But we'll see, and we'll see what happens. But big fan of Tezos, big fan of small bakers, big fan of the community. And I know it's not always easy, like you said, right? But we stick together and we can make changes. We can make things better. We can improve on things. We just have to do it. So.
yeah, yeah.
So
And
Hans, I won't take up too much of your time. I try to keep this video short. I think you're an awesome baker. Thank you for what you
yeah,
do, and thank you for being part of the Tezos network and securing the blockchain.
thanks to you as well for doing your part.
Yeah, no problem. Is there anything else you want to say? Any shout outs to anybody, or one last plug to your bakery?
I would say that people should go on Discord, and also if you're interested in being a baker, there's a lot of material out there that you can read. And also, I think her name is Beata Lipska has some nice videos in order to get started with baking. And if you depends if you want to read or watch videos, and but there's a lot of information out there if you want to get started. And if you're interested in doing it, you should do it.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
won't find a better time than now to get your role, probably. So
yeah, exactly.
now's a good time to come in, I think, definitely, Hans.
Yeah,
All right, well, thank you so much for doing the video. I'll get this posted up on the webpage and plug your bakery on Tezos Bakers. And thank you so much once again. Awesome community we have here. So appreciate it, Hans.
yeah. Thanks for having me. Have a great time.